Yeah. So I'll just be going in and again, I'm connecting my line segments together with my primary midtone, right? And just kind of like, you know, going on the inside and um, changing the outside. And, sometimes just don't be afraid to like also mix it up a bit, right? Like, so as the, trajectory of the curve changes, um, the inside of the curve like becomes like the outside of this curve. So don't be afraid to like, um, kind of sculpt that out with your midtones as you move along. Um, Let me know if I need to like re-explain things. By the way, I know I might be kind of like rushing along a bit, so just let me know. Again, like some of the choices that I'm making with AA, like they might not be the best choices, but I think at that point you can chalk it up to like a like a stylistic decision. Maybe that's wrong of me, but you know, um, I I think it's okay. So yeah, that's my curve. Oh hey, thanks for stopping by. Okay, is there anything else that I should is GIMP 2 okay? I haven't used GIMP for pixel art, but I've seen a lot of other people use like GIMP and their work is like gorgeous. So I mean, really use whatever program you think fits your needs the best. I do have to say that there are programs specifically for pixel art that have the tools that make rendering certain forms like so much easier. Um, so programs like Sprite and Graphic Scale and Pixel, like Pixel with like a Y Pixel Edit, I think is what it's called. Um, those are all like really great programs for pixel art. I am being a bit of a bad boy, and I'm using Fire Alpaca for pixel art, which, um, you know, the reasons why I use it is like one, it's a free program, and two, um, it's way simpler than Photoshop, so it doesn't run down my computer as hard, but it still has like a lot of the bells and whistles of it. Um, the reason why I would not recommend Fire Alpaca for pixel art is because the color sampler is a bit wiggy. So sometimes when you're like sampling colors, like it kind of changes it by like one value or so. So if you're working with like color palette limits, the files might say that you have ended up using 6 colors instead of 5. And thankfully, that's a pretty easy fix. If you just export it to like Photoshop and just like sample all the colors and convert it or whatever, but it's way more of a hassle than you should ever really need to go through. So I don't recommend doing it. Stick to a program with a good color sampler because it will save you some pains. Yeah. A Sprite, Pixel Edit, um, they they cost a little bit of money, but they're one like Steam has pretty good sales on them from time to time, and like two, they're pretty affordable programs. Um, Again, though, because like sometimes using simpler programs can cause you to be more resourceful, right? And make you rely on more like traditional techniques for pixel art. So like, just using MS Paint is totally fine. I know I started off on MS Paint, and just the lack of like layers and stuff really makes you like approach and plan things out more carefully. Um, and it also teaches you to like save multiple files. So that's kind of like good for if you want to document your process. Um, yeah. Does anyone have any more questions about like anti-aliasing and like smoothing out curves and stuff? Did I answer all of your questions? Oh, let me look at my checklist. Checklist. Yeah. Oh, this is a really good point. Yeah, I'll be sure to add like add all of these like programs to like the Google Doc file for people that are like, what do you boot? No, I hope. Oh God, this is being recorded. I can't believe I said that in a recording. Okay, but I'll be sure to include those onto the under like the resources. So pixel art programs. Um, and I'm going to go back in and, put in better descriptions for some of these programs a bit later. But, I hope that's helpful. Let me just add this in really quickly. A Sprite is $15. Okay. And I'll add hyperlinks to like the sites. So there's A Sprite. A Sprite, Pixel Edit. Graphic Scale, I know some people use Graphic Scale. Each program has its pros and cons, and like each program is like has their own like specialties. I know like for an example, like Pixel Edit is really great for tiling. So I think it'd be really cool if anyone uses these programs, maybe type up your experience with using each of these programs, and maybe sharing it to the doc would be really great, like a really great reference for people. Okay, graphic scale. Anyone else recommend any other pixel art programs before we move on to building up forms? Oh yeah, that's another thing. When I'm going to be streaming with other pixel artists and game devs, we'll be talking about the programs that they use. Just because I think that'd be really helpful. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Free programs are really great. Oh, GraphFX2. Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, that's good to keep in mind. And free programs are important. I never heard of that before, actually. Thanks for bringing it up. Oh, graphics too. Whatever. Okay. You know how to pronounce things. I don't. It's okay. This is a judge. Can we establish like a judgment-free zone for these streams? Because I'm not. I need it because I do bad things online. Okay. Okay, so we have Sprite, Pixel Edit, Graphic Scale, and Graphics 2. Okay, cool. Any last things or any last questions about anti-aliasing before I move on to like the next thing? So we went over, when to AA, which line segments read the best, how to use different midtones for different colors on different backgrounds. Oh my god, why do you guys keep quoting me? Okay, for real, any last things before I move on? Oh, Piscal. Okay, thank you. Okay, great. And again, if anyone wants to type up like a review of like each program, like I would, that would be awesome if you guys don't mind sharing that onto the Google folder. Oh, and then be sure to include like, links to any like social media, like your Twitter or like your Tumblr or something, so that we can like promote each other and stuff. Okay, so I will be moving on. Now I'm going to be talking about like different methods of building up forms. So either by using a silhouette or building and refining a silhouette, or by using line art. For those of you guys that know my work, like you guys know that I use like a lot of like line art is my primary like way of like building like a pixel. But just for the sake of the stream, I thought it'd be great to like explore, just show like what it's like to build up from like a silhouette and not to rely on like line as like the foundation for like a pixel, or like for like a sprite. And both of these, both like both the silhouette and the line art files are available on the Google Drive folder, if anyone's interested in like, like tweaking it or making their own artwork with it. As long as you guys like, like credit me or like whatever, that'd be neat. But I'd love to see what you guys like make with it. And I'll be posting a link to the folder with like the stream files for those of you guys that don't really know. Okay, so I'm going to be starting with like, the silhouette. So there are like pros and cons to like each method of building, and sometimes with the same like pixel art, I end up using both of the techniques. So for example, just to hop back to like this one, for like weird things like the hands, where the thickness of the like line art is just, each pixel takes up too much space for me to define each individual finger properly, right? In this case, I just kind of like scribble it in with like the line art, but then I just kind of like build it up by the way I would like approach like a silhouette pixel. So the big thing that building with like a silhouette has over building up with like line art is the fact that I mentioned before, like the line art used for rendering a pixel ends up taking like one more pixel than you like really want to define the form, right? Like the boundary between like the form and the background in this